There is a new level of insanity that has become a pastime for those who are woke, calling America trash. This trashing of America trickles down from the highest levels of the U.S. government. Natasha Cloud, WNBA champ, threw a fit following the Supreme Court rulings on affirmative action and a case involving artist Lori Smith. Cloud dropped her hate bomb on Twitter and said, and I quote her, "Our country is trash in so many ways. And instead of using our resources to make it better, we continue to oppress marginalized groups that we have targeted since the beginning of times." Close quotes. Of course, America hasn't been here since the, quote, the beginning of times. She goes on with her mindless rant and says, quote, "I've been blessed to travel the world for my career. I've been in plenty of countries that I would have my human rights, health care, free assisted schooling, don't have to fear mass shootings or white supremacists, don't have to be concerned about the highest maternal mortality rates in the world." Close quotes. Fortunately, not everyone who is female and a champ would agree with Natasha Cloud. WNBA player Brittney Griner has changed her mind about standing for the national anthem before games. Like some other athletes, she stopped standing for the anthem in 2020 as a form of protest against the U.S. after the murder of George Floyd. After being imprisoned in Russia on trumped-up charges of drug smuggling, Griner is now back playing on the court and standing for Old Glory. Griner said, "You know, I was literally in a cage in Russia and could not stand the way I wanted to in a lot of other different situations," close quotes. Her imprisonment in Russia stemmed from vape cartridges with hashish oil allegedly found in her luggage at a Moscow airport. Quote, "So just being able to hear my national anthem and see my flag, I definitely stand," said Griner. Griner respects the right of players who choose to protest. Quote, "I totally respect them 100%. That's our right as an American in this great country," close quotes. She's right. Freedom of speech means you might hear some things that you don't agree with, like when our president gives a speech. Other countries don't have that liberty. In 2015, Chinese Communist President Xi started showing up in posts riding in his official car with Winnie the Pooh right next to him. It brought a smile to the faces of many users of Weibo, a Facebook-like popular media platform. However, President Xi wasn't smiling. The image is being censored even now. Recently, communist authorities were able to virtually remove pictures, comments, and essays written by China's top dissident, Liu Xiaobo. Liu won the Nobel Peace Prize and died recently in custody. He was a professor, a writer, and a human rights activist known for his participation in the infamous Tiananmen Square protest. Liu was an inspiration to a generation of young Chinese students and pro-democracy activists around the world. His image and materials are gone forever. We all remember the 2005 Muhammad cartoons in a Danish newspaper and the explosive and violent response. The newspaper, Jyllands-Posten, published 12 editorial cartoons on September the 30th, 2005, most of which depicted Muhammad, a key figure in Islam, as a cartoon character. The issue received prominent media attention in some Muslim-majority countries, leading to violent protests across the world. Some escalated into violence, resulting in more than 250 reported deaths. Now, for misguided individuals like Natasha Cloud, let's call to memory the nasty images and effigies that were made of Donald Trump. There are 587 Donald Trump funny-face stock photos on the internet. Folks suffering from the Trump derangement syndrome just hated the man, and they made a hobby of insulting Trump. We all remember the photo of Kathy Griffin holding a decapitated Trump head. Griffin later apologized. Trump fans and non-Trump fans complained. I think the photo was in bad taste. I am glad many objected. But I'm also glad for freedom of expression and for the absence of mob scenes and deaths for those who participated in showing the photo, and all the other photos and images of Trump calculated to be insulting. Yes, we have freedoms in America like no other country. Yes, Natasha Cloud can trash America. Saying bad things about one's country is not an option in most other countries. Now let's move on to a related item. Let's think about censorship. Do we have censorship in America? Unfortunately, the Biden administration is working hard censoring protected speech. A federal judge has made a historic ruling by partially granting an injunction that blocks various Biden administration officials and government agencies like the Justice Department from working with big tech firms to censor posts on social media. Attorneys general in Louisiana and Missouri have accused Biden administration officials and various government agencies of pressuring social media companies to suspend accounts or take down posts. The judge, Terry A. Doughty, wrote in the July 4th judgment that various government agencies, including the Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Agency, the Department of Homeland Security, the U.S. Department of State, the Department of Justice, and the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention are prohibited from taking a range of actions with regards to social media companies. The judge, a Trump appointee, wrote in the ruling that the Republican attorneys general who sued the Biden administration have produced evidence of a massive effort by defendants, from the White House to federal agencies, to suppress speech based on its content. This is viewpoint discrimination that has no place in America. We are living in the last days. The suppression of speech is vital to the proponents of the New World Order. The whole planet will be under the rule of the Antichrist. This can never happen if there are independent thinkers and those who oppose censorship. Antichrist is a control freak. Censorship is absolutely necessary for a unified, same-thinking global participation by every single person on the planet. Constitutional safeguards against suppression of thought and speech are an important wall of defense against globalists. No wonder globalists hate the Constitution and like to mold it like silly putty to suit their evil desires. The woke crowd and misguided individuals like Natasha Cloud think they are voicing their own opinions. Their opinions, unfortunately, align perfectly with the desire of the Antichrist. Because of their insane hatred of white people and tendency to see everything in the light of race, they are helping to produce a climate in which there will be no freedom. In 1 John 2, verse 18, Scripture tells us, "Little children, it is the last time, and as ye have heard that Antichrist shall come, even now are there many Antichrists." Now, who might be one of the many Antichrists? Well, Fox News has recently reported that according to a watchdog group, the Biden administration is pushing to make AI woke and adhere to a far-left agenda. The American Accountability Foundation has conducted research into the administration's plans for AI and is now warning that top U.S. officials under President Biden are seeking to inject, quote, dangerous ideologies into AI systems. One example is the blueprint for an AI Bill of Rights released by the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy in October of 2022. The document warns of algorithmic discrimination in which AI systems treat people differently based on their race, sex, or other characteristics. It calls for data used as part of the system development or assessment to be reviewed for bias based on the historical and societal context of the data. To address such concerns, the blueprint recommends, quote, proactive equity assessments as part of the system design, close quotes. Yes, we are in the last days. We don't know when the trumpet will sound. We have to be soul winners, but we also have to be alert to the lies and distortions that are all around us.